Thank you. Good morning. My name is Kenny. I come from Malaysia, and coming from Malaysia, we only have 2 seasons. We have humid and very humid. So I'm loving the weather here in London, for those of you in UK. It's a privilege to be here. So we're going to talk about Astro's journey implementing addressable TV in Malaysia. I know we are 5 years late compared to the UK, but it's an interesting journey for us in Malaysia because we are the first addressable TV solution in Southeast Asia. So among our clusters of countries, and we have done it together with a lot of help from a lot of friends, and Jamie is here formerly from Sky, and helped us a lot as well. So in implementing, so we're going to explain a little bit of the journey that we had currently with addressable TV, addressable advertising as a whole, and how we are moving forward with a country like Malaysia. First off, just to explain, if you haven't been to Malaysia, Malaysia is a very complex country because we run along very racial lines, actually. So we have got the Malays, Chinese, Indians, and we've got English speaking that runs across the board, and plus our indigenous people. So most of the advertisers in Malaysia find it a difficult issue to advertise because you need to create a specific advertisement for each of them. They're quite different, and we love our food, and so food is number one to us. And everything that you associate with food will do well in Malaysia. If you don't associate with food, it won't do so well. So, but a lot of advertisers go crazy because every time when they create an advertisement, if you've never done it in Malaysia before, you need to create it in 4 different languages. You need to create it in Malay, Chinese, Tamil, which is Indian, and English, just to get the coverage that you need across the board. So addressable advertising is something that is very important for us because of the complexity of the nature of the demographics that we have. We need to get very, very targeted, especially on TV, right? So, and that's how AA on TV helps a lot of advertisers in Malaysia to target the complexity that we have in Malaysia as well. So just to tell you a little bit about Astro, we started in 1996. We are a combination of, if you will, Sky and BBC. So we are the largest TV broadcaster in Malaysia. We're also the largest radio network in Malaysia, 11 stations. And also we're the largest digital publisher in Malaysia. So combine all those, we're in about 92% of households. TV, we're about 70% of coverage. Radio, we are 75% of listenership share. So that's where we are. And these are what we have across the board. So when we talk about addressable for Malaysia, addressable TV, we're actually talking here on the right. But that's where our journey is starting. What we are trying to do now, as we are starting on the right, which is we started around earlier in 2022, but now we had an official launch in June. We're trying to move addressable across the board. So we're trying to tie up targeting and audience data across the board. So we have TV, we have radio, which is a different kind of asset, and then we have our digital sites. We have an in-house agency called Rocket Fuel, so we handle KOLs and we sign. So we're about 400 different key influencers in our stable. Then we have commerce, TV shopping, and of course now we have what we are also in CEs, or what we call commercial establishments. So we have our screens in pubs, in shops. So we'll talk about that later because there's a different thing about addressable that we have. And one thing is also not here is that we also have what we call Astro Broadband, which we launched, or Astro Fiber, which we launched a couple of months ago as well. So all this, so what we do with addressable is that we target our audience across the board using different kind of tools. Like I said, the only difference maybe compared to a lot of our TV friends here is that we target people across the board. So if we have audiences that we know are on our podcast, we target them with TV, and then TV, we target them on shopping. So we actually move across the board for Malaysia. And for us, I'm not going to talk about AA a lot, but talk about our journey of how we started and how we got here. And this is what all of us have gone through and we're going to do as far as AA is concerned. Now, so this is the journey for Astro. A little bit, I won't go into a little bit detail, but the complexity for us is that we primarily started with satellite TV, right? And that's how we got our coverage 25 years ago. So we have got boxes, which are what we call the much older boxes, DTH satellite, and then we have got now streaming boxes that can do both. So we can do satellite, so if you want to switch to IP, it will switch to IP automatically, depending on the signal, right? So we have got that, and we have got different kind of boxes in the past 25 years in different people's homes. Like I said, we have been around 25 years. We cover 75% of homes as far as TV is concerned. So we've got different kind of boxes that we are swapping in and swapping out. Now, AA becomes difficult technically because the different boxes do different things. And when we want to implement in terms of hardware and software, we have to keep on switching boxes to be able to have that done. So we have got about 50% of our boxes now, DTH, which is a one-way signal. And then we have got 50% of our boxes, which is a two-way signal connected boxes, STBs. And then we have also got VOD, video on demand, and we have also got OTT, over-the-air streaming apps. So this whole ecosystem of AATV is being implemented right now across the board, across the ecosystem. And we have this journey that we need to go through, and we are about 75% of our way here. By the end of, by January, February next year, we'll be 100% coverage on TV. Okay, so the last thing that I need to mention is that we are actually trying to do what we call, in terms of measurement, one of the key things about addressable right now. So we do have measurement, and we use Kanta for that, to measure TV linear. And for AA, we use Kanta now to do a coverage of OTT plus VOD and linear TV. By January next year, we will have what we call total video, which means for advertiser or client who is buying into it, we show you a total viewership report across linear, OTT, VOD, and digital videos in all our sites. So we combine all videos into one report. We call it a total video report for Astro and for Malaysia. And that's going to be next year. So we have right now by household. The other one that we needed to do actually is to break it down by individuals. And there's other things that are happening. Hopefully we can get that done by mid of next year. So we're going to tie all those different things up. This is our journey, and so we officially started in June, where we did the official launch, and Jamie was there with us in Malaysia, and we implemented in June, and right now it's November, and this is the growth that we've had in a couple of months that we had. And I just received a text this morning that those of you who know that for the Chinese, like myself, celebrate Chinese New Year is a big thing in Malaysia. It's in January. As of this morning, somebody told me, they texted me and said that we have sold out all our Chinese New Year advertising inventory for AA. So just this morning. So we are selling like 2 months in advance, all our inventory, because it's very high in demand. Actually, one of our clients is here, actually Mindshare from Malaysia. So Sheila is here. So they use Finecast, and it's a good thing that, you know, it's a very powerful tool for agencies. So we've got this. So these are the brands that we have onboarded, some of the brands that we have onboarded since. Some are multinational, some are locals, that we have done for since June up to now in November. So you can see a mixture here. We've also got on board here, which is not here because we got on board them quite recently, the Unilevers and the P&Gs, you know, stuff who got on board slightly later because their procurement process didn't allow them to go on AA in Malaysia in the beginning. Right now we have them. So we have done some, I think the most important thing that we did as far as learning, we'll go into details, is when we first implemented AA in Malaysia for TV, it was very difficult to get clients and agencies on board because for Malaysia, most of the players, except for the large agencies, most of the marketing people around Malaysia and Southeast Asia don't really know what addressable TV is. They know how to buy TV, they know how to buy digital, but very few people know how to buy addressable TV and measure it. So one of the first few key things that we had to do right in the beginning was actually we had to include addressable TV buy together with a free brand lift study for the client. So we actually paid and invested for independent brand lift studies for clients who came on board in the early stages. And we actually saw this kind of brand lifts across the board. I won't go into detail, but you can see it's very, very positive since we actually started it. These are some others, an example. This is with a telco that we had, one of the biggest telco we had in Malaysia, and this is the kind of brand lift study that we did, and it's independently verified. And these were the things that we had to do right up front and invested in so that clients came on board and agencies believed that it could work for addressable in Malaysia. Then these are more in terms of, again, brand lift studies that we do, and in terms of uplifts, in terms of clients, and brand engagement index. Okay, so one of the major things that I was asked to come here to share was what are the learnings that we have had trying to implement addressable TV in a region like Southeast Asia, especially for Malaysia. So one of the key, if you look here, the first things is that for us was important, like I said, to get big brands on board because most of the other players don't really know how to do it, right? So we had to get the big brands who already knew how to buy AA, especially the big agencies. We're talking about the Group M's, the IPG media brands, the Publicis of the world, the Dentsus of the world. Once they come in, then the rest will come in, right? So that's the one we did. The second thing that we did, right now we're trying to find out is that in terms of addressable TV, it's a very big difference the way that we educate the market for multinationals versus the smaller SMEs in Malaysia. The multinationals, by default, know how to buy large digital buys, right? And they already know how TV will work and how AA TV will work. But for SMEs, it's a very different story. We can't show the same slides, we can't show the same videos. So we have to craft very, very different messages for SMEs. And also for SMEs to reach their clients, it's a totally different form of visuals and videos that we had to create for them. So we actually have an in-house creative team, about 30, 40 people. They actually are churning creatives on a daily basis, especially for SMEs who don't really know how to create creatives for AATV. Because one of the things is that we learn is that most of the SMEs who come into Malaysia and try to do AATV is that they have never considered TV in the first place. So this is the first time they're actually advertising on TV using AA platforms. So they have to learn how to do the special creatives just for us. Then these are the two. But the other thing I just want to mention, which is not on the slide here, is one of the things is for us, which we have learned is that I think education of the market is very important. We have got TV people who have been buying traditional TV, who don't understand how digital works. So they don't know how AATV is done. We have got digital people who know how the AATV buying is done in terms of targeting, but they don't know how the pricing and measurement is done on the TV side. So you have two sides that we're trying to educate and try to bring them to the middle. I think that's the biggest frustration that we've had in the market together with the agencies that we work together trying to educate the market. And the procurement departments of clients don't help. Because they have got processes to, for buying and measuring, right? Which is still based on if you have TV, you have digital. There's no such thing as a procurement process for AA for TV. So we have to actually change that in terms of what we're doing in Malaysia. And it's a little bit difficult in terms of, so education awareness for us is a big thing right now, and we're trying to ramp that up for Malaysia. But with all the brand lift studies and the performance that are coming in, it's actually doing very well for us. Okay, so like I said, the two big things that we're doing is what we call unified measurement, not only across TV and video, but we're doing a unified measurement across, because we have radio and digital audio and podcast, so we have a unified measurement across all the portals. So we have TV, audio, digital publishing, again, e-commerce shopping, and Astro fiber and broadband. So we're doing a unified report of reach and impressions for our clients. So it's going to be one that we're going to roll out soon. And for clients and agencies, if they want to buy what we call a unified reach across platforms, it's the same thing. So again, we are starting our addressable journey on the TV side. We are moving things along the scale across our platforms and assets that we have. Okay, and this is what we are doing. And this is how we are trying to get. And the final thing that we need to plug in right now is, of course, single sign-on. Once we get that done, everything will stick into place across all the various platforms that we have. And this is my last slide because I see the host coming on. So I will just mention to this for those of you who are listening and for those who are going to be seeing this maybe on video, is that actually we welcome a lot of different partners to Malaysia for us to do different things, right? If you're a publisher, you're a video inventory player, if you are anybody who wants to come into the Malaysia, Southeast Asia market, the first thing is that we welcome you to join together with the inventory that we are selling over to the Malaysian audience and Malaysian clients. The second thing is that if you're an agency or client and you wish to sell into Malaysia, you want to target Malaysian clients, please look for us. If you're trying to do a campaign to tourism or anything that you want to target Malaysian population, please come and talk to us. And the last one, if you're looking at data partnerships, you want to do data enrichment, clean rooms kind of stuff, we have all the data across the board and to help you to enrich your data as well for Malaysia as well as for Southeast Asia, again, because of the different aspects that we have. So we welcome all these partnerships, and I'm going to end with that, to signify that we are very open. We are still very early in our journey as far as AA is concerned, and we are opening to ourselves to a lot of discussions with many of you in this room and outside this room, and we're trying to learn as fast as we can, but we are very behind the curve, but we hope we will get there very soon. So thank you very much for your support, and we'll end with this slide. Thank you.